For as long as anyone could remember, the big market teams usually won the World Series. The Yankees' dominance was largely attributed to the fact that they could sign just about anyone and extend just about anyone, from signing Johnny Damon in 2005 or extending Judge after 2022. For example, the Yankees were ranked number 1 in payroll in 1996, 1999, 2000, and 2009. Every one of those seasons, they won the World Series, proving the theory that money buys you championships. But over the last few seasons, we've seen teams spend money like never before, and they've not won a single playoff game. This proves the league is changing, and team spending is changing with it.
You may ask what kind of owner I'm going to be. I'm going to be an owner who builds a team that has continued success.
How about those Mets, man, making record deal after record deal, attempting to get this team back to winning and buying themselves a championship? Except the Mets didn't end up buying themselves a championship at all, and it ended up being their $500 million mistake.
The Mets are the heart of New York. It beats in us.
There is no fucking heart! There is absolutely no fucking heart in this goddamn motherfucking team!
Pop up, left side of the infield. Backs up Beatty, having a hard time tracking it. Oh no! What a disaster!
No heart and a disaster. This is what money turned the New York Mets into. They went from being a World Series contender to realizing by the trade deadline that they had to sell off pieces. The money spending was not sustainable. They traded away Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and more. Superstar after superstar being shipped away because they failed at properly building a team. This began the stage of rebuilding the New York Mets, this time from the ground up, bringing in a new mind to lead this front office and a new young manager to lead the team. They were walking into a situation where things had just gone real bad, but the good thing is that pieces were and are in stone. At the MLB level, Francisco Alvarez is destined to be a breakout in 2024. Certainly, he will be the catcher of the future. They have a load of talent outside of him too, with veterans like Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso, and Francisco Lindor in the lineup. They don't lack star power offensively, but they have so many other holes in the lineup. That's what ultimately led to a bottom 10 lineup in all of baseball. But the big positive here is that they've been working on filling those holes for quite a while now. The player they got in return for Scherzer is Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother, who is actually their #1 prospect. He could play shortstop, second base, and in the outfield. Versatility is what he's going to provide, along with speed and the tools to be an above-average hitter at the MLB level. They also have plenty of other top-tier prospects who should be ready for 2024, and at the latest, it'll be 2025. Additionally, they signed free agents who should be solid offensively. But the real problem that the Mets faced in 2023 was a lot more so the pitching. They had to go the whole year without Edwin Diaz, a top closer in baseball. The bullpen was unfortunately never able to rebound, and it resulted in a lot of losses. For the rotation, after Scherzer and Verlander were gone, it was rough, specifically the lack of depth in the rotation. They had Kodai Senga, who had an incredible rookie year, and they had Jose Quintana, who had a very respectable .357 ERA. But two men aren't enough to go and lead an entire pitching staff. Work needed to be done at all costs. The Mets were heavily pursuing superstar Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The goal was to pair Yamamoto and Senga together. Unfortunately, there was no swaying Yamamoto, as he later ended up signing with the Dodgers. This shifted New York's plans into a new direction, signing players who they could potentially fix and get quality outings out of them, starting with Luis Severino. Once considered a top pitcher in baseball, but he was destroyed by injuries. He rebounded in 2022, pitching a lot better than expected, but 2023 came around and he was not the same pitcher at all. The stuff wasn't nasty, the velo was down. Luis Severino was no longer that same pitcher at all. They made other moves too to fill out the rotation, like Sean Manaea. This isn't a perfect offseason by any means, but they understand that there's a process to team building, and spending hundreds of $millions is not the solution for a good team long term. Don't get it twisted, the Mets aren't the only team to fall victim to this. On the other side of New York lies the Bronx, where they also attempted to do a strategy that involved buying a championship rather than building one. The Yankees paid Garrett Cole his mega contract in 2019. They gave Judge his record contract last year and paid Carlos Rodon. All three had mega deals. Burning cash was the mindset for New York as they attempted to improve. The 2022 team went to the ALCS and lost, but the 2023 team didn't even make the playoffs, regardless of being the number 2 team in payroll. Money did not result in wins. So this offseason, they went ahead and reevaluated all of their options. Trading became a big one rather than going and signing a big free agent. They traded for Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo, making these big moves that fit the team needs. Also, in free agency, they did bring in Marcus Stroman. They did a good job overall revamping and retooling this team, and that's what you gotta give them credit for. We also expect big prospects like Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez to be big for the Yankees in 2024 and in their future. For our last team, what about the Padres? They had a really nice playoff run in 2022, and they did a lot of good things. Not to mention, they did it without Tatis. They would be getting Tatis back for 2023, so the team could only be getting better. Offensively, they wanted star shortstop Xander Bogaerts, and I mean, they really wanted him. They offered him an 11-year deal worth $280 million. Another superstar to go and add to this equation, and it could only mean good things. Although, this isn't the only thing that they did. They also signed a ton of different pitchers, and I mean a ton, for the bullpen and for the rotation. For example, Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo both signed with the Padres. Each pitcher ended up providing a 3 ERA. And that's not to mention that they had the best closer in baseball, the Cy Young winner of 2023, and the Platinum Glove winner of 2023. Somehow, this magical team that was number 3 in payroll and had all these awards, they did not make the playoffs. In fact, they regressed from the team that they were in 2022. How did this happen? One of the biggest things to understand is that a bunch of good players don't make a good team. Team is working together.
Teamwork.
Oh, brother.
We can do anything when we have teamwork.
Throwing together a bunch of random people is not going to make a good team, and the Padres definitely did learn that. Going into this offseason, they were going to be losing a ton of star players, and even ended up trading Juan Soto. So they had to go and change a lot. This is the beginning of them building something, signing new players, and of course trading for new players as well. This team is going to take time, but this was a team that ultimately fell victim to buying a team rather than building it. What do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and peace out.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right.